Uh, Yo, what up, y'all? My name is Justice, and you're listening to Foam. I got my main man right here with me, Martin, aka Dressed by Martin.
What's good?
I'm chilling, man. I'm
What's
glad you
going
can make
on,
it.
man?
I'm glad you can make it, bro.
Yeah, bro. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. And for everyone out there, we took like an hour to try to set this shit up. So I'm just really glad that we're here, and I got my boy here. So Martin,
No,
just
this is fire, bro. I'm gonna say before we even start, like, congrats. First of all,
appreciate it
for starting a new thing. I mean, this is. I know you've been talking about this for a little bit.
for a minute.
First guest, so don't you ever forget it.
Yes.
Feel me?
Hopefully we'll have you on here a lot more.
Yes.
Definitely.
Always, bro. Hit me. You
Cool,
already
man.
know.
Hell yeah. So bro, just let's start this off by telling us a little bit about who is Martin, man.
Wow.
Broad statement.
Wow. Who is Martin? Shit, let me go soul search real quick. We'll say who Martin is right now. Right now, Martin is designing, he's styling, he's working. Just graduated grad school in December.
Congrats.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, man. SmartBoys started that in June.
Nice.
Got my taxes back during quarantine. I think it was like around $3,000.
Sheesh. That's a lot to me.
That's that Walmart tax.
Hell yeah.
The Walmart taxes.
Yeah, the internship.
Yes, sir. A sweet life.
Yeah, for real.
But no, so got those back. Kind of let them sit on ice because, I'm in my mom's basement at this point.
I feel you.
And yeah, bro, I had an idea for SmartBoys probably a year prior.
For sure.
But starting a brand wasn't something I was going to do for a good 10 years. Like,
were you just hoping to kind of like focus on your personal brand a little bit?
Yeah, I was going to focus on styling because, styling is like that's like my real passion, like my ultimate. That's what I'm trying to do.
Absolutely.
Be a personal stylist. So,
man.
But then quarantine hit because I had an internship at Urban Outfitters, if you remember.
I do remember.
I was supposed to.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to be in Philly, and then they canceled it because of COVID. And then I was just like taking like a couple classes.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't have anything to do. I was like, I might as well try and start this brand. So I started sketching. Found a manufacturer literally less than 10 minutes from my house, which is rare in Lansing, Michigan. If anyone knows where that is, you know how rare it is to find an apparel manufacturer.
I feel you.
But yeah, no. So I've learned a lot, man.
That's what's up.
Definitely spent too much money, but
I feel you.
It's a process.
So, right now, the people can already tell that you're drip down.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for real. And so I just want to kind of let y'all know. So I know Martin. We actually met through an internship in Arkansas.
NW, baby.
NWA. And one thing that really that made me gravitate towards this man right here is that he was just different. He was just calm, cool, collected, complete opposite of who I am. And I'm very like sporadic, very energetic, very loud type person, very spastastic, and I love myself.
Spastastic.
And we really just clicked because we would be talking about things that I feel like every black kid can kind of relate to, just like your black mom.
We used to talk about mom all the time.
Absolutely. She's a queen. And so that's kind of like how we met. And then we would just always be talking about our aspirations and our dreams and things that we wanted to do in life. And even though they're completely different, we kind of like they're different animals but the same beast, I would say. I don't know.
I think because we were both really creative. I think we had this kind of, I don't know, like I grew up in the hood but went to white schools, and I feel like you could relate to that.
Yes, sir. So
yeah, growing up in the hood but going to white schools, it's kind of, it creates a complex almost.
I agree, man. But yo, real quick, so SmartBoys, Foam is all about finding other artist mindsets. Obviously, you're an artist, you're a creative yourself. Yes. What was the inspiration behind SmartBoys, man? I know it's like create as if you've seen the future, but tell me a little bit about how you came about SmartBoys and that journey.
Yeah. So SmartBoys actually came when me and one of my friends, we would So like I said, styling is like my thing. So there was a period, probably like late 2018, early 2019, where I was taking a lot of pictures, just of my fits. Like my boy would he would shoot it, and then I'd style everything. But before we left the house, we'd always grab a Smart Water. Because he just randomly always had a pack of Smart Water in his garage.
Plug.
Yeah, sponsor us, please.
Yeah,
First episode, Smart Water. Get up here. I need one. A little parched right now. You feel me? Nah, but I just one day noticed. I was like, bro, we always grab a Smart Water before we leave to go shoot. Like, he was just like Smart Boys. I was like, So, but that was like a year prior, like I said, and nothing really came of it. I was like, that's funny, that's cool, whatever. So we joked around about that, and then I think it was probably like a couple months after that, I was just thinking about the name Smart Boys. I was like, that's hard. I was like, that would be a hard brand name. Like, for whatever it is, like, obviously my medium is fashion, so I was like, bro, that would be hard. And then, but I just started thinking about it. I was like, could I build a brand around this? Because just like knowing marketing and just today, man, you can't just put clothes out. You're not going to sell them. Like, you got to build a story. So I just kind of built like Smart Boys around my story, because Smart Boys, the name is really ironic. It's not really about traditionally smart people. It's geared towards a creative intelligence in us, especially in young kids of color, because I'm really changing the narrative, because my narrative has been like young black men of color, but it's really going towards people of color, because I've talked to a lot of people about my mission, which is pouring into the creative, athletic, and artistic ambitions of young black people. But I've talked to a lot of people of color, like anybody who's really like an immigrant, like whether you're Mexican, Latina, Spanish, whatever, or if you're coming from just a different immigrant family, African, I feel like all immigrants can kind of relate to each other. Just in the way that they're
struggles and like trying to assimilate and things like that. Or
even just parents and how they're, because like being creative is really a luxury, or pursuing creative careers is a luxury, because it just means that you don't really have anything else serious to pursue. That's kind of what the traditional meaning of like being an artist was, or being a lucrative artist, what I mean? So like I felt as black people, especially black men, when you grew up in poverty, like a lot of us did, like pursuing a creative career was like almost foolish, like especially to your parents who broke their back to get you where you are. Like, you don't have that permission. like yeah, I think we're not making any money. I think I'm gonna go draw pictures for the rest of my life. Like, your parents would be like, yo, what? Like, what?
Get back on the boat.
Like, exactly. Like, we could have stayed where we was at. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I think a lot of immigrants can relate to that, especially young creative immigrants who like want to do something with their life that isn't in science, isn't in math, isn't an engineer. You're not a lawyer. You're not a doctor. But I'm fire behind the camera. I can shoot the shit out of something, bro. Like, I'm fire behind the camera. I can paint a crazy picture.
Facts.
I can get dressed. I can design. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, those are the Smart Boys. But even like, not even doesn't even have to be creative though. It can be like a trade. Because I feel like really my mindset is anything that you're good at or anything that you have a expertise in makes you intelligent. If you have expertise in something that I don't know about, and you can do something that I can't, if I need you for something, if I need your brain to accomplish something, clearly there's some intelligence there. And that's just how I looked at it, because I was an athlete growing up too. Played soccer in college.
That's right.
Yeah, I played soccer in college. I played soccer growing up, but sports growing up, even for immigrants compared to white people, is a completely different thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro,
that's that football culture is some
bro,
crazy.
And even just any sport you play as a minority, like, you have to really decide early if you're gonna take it seriously or not, because
that could get you out. That's
your ticket. That's your ticket, and my mom told me that early. Like, my mom had me, she was 18. Like, we ain't had no money, bro. Like, we lived with grandparents. Like, what? We didn't have a house, bro. Like, we just now came up. But it's like, she told me when I was young, bro, like, I didn't get to start playing travel soccer until I was like 11. And I know people like, that's young. It's not. Like, when you think about like the game of soccer, like, a lot of pros, like the good pros that have long lasting careers, were pros when they were like 17. So it's like, I didn't start travel soccer until I was like 11.
I feel you.
But the reason was because she didn't know about any of that. She was a child herself.
Bro, I think about, man, where was I in that headspace at 18? I was just trying to make sure that I had enough money in GTA that I could buy the car I wanted.
Exactly, bro.
Like, for real.
Exactly. So she didn't know. And then B, she's like, that shit's expensive. Like, I'm not going to pay for this if this isn't something you're really going to do. And I think that's
serious about it.
What a lot of parents, black parents, minority parents, think about when their kids are pursuing sports. Because to us, we're like, oh, we just want to play. But it's like, if you want to do this seriously, this costs a lot of money. It takes up all of your parents' time.
I agree.
All the time. Because they got to travel. They got to take to all the games. Like, if you're in a competitive team, you're playing in your state less than you're playing outside of the state. Sheesh. Like, so, like, they got jobs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that was the commitment.
So let me ask you this. How did your sports career, because that definitely teaches you something, right? Like, you learn a lot from sports, whether it be being a good team player or whatever. How did you translate the skills and things that you learned in your soccer career to more of your fashion and your business side of things?
I mean, I think it's like a mental toughness, really. And like, obviously there's like the practical things that you put in your resume, like time management, leadership, teamwork skills, but those are all real things that you get from sports, that you can apply to business and things like that. And creativity, there's a lot of creativity in sports, because everyone's a different player no matter what you play, which is also, a part of like the SmartBoys brand. It's just like, that's why sports is so big in it, because obviously I was an athlete, but being an athlete, it takes a certain amount of creativity to be that way.
I feel you.
So that's how that plays into it. But it's like the message is deep, right? It's just like me. It's just me, because I'll fast forward. It's like in high school, like, I felt like I wasn't necessarily considered a smart kid, but I was the athlete. Like, he was the athlete kid. Like, and I feel like that still happens anywhere you go. Like, if you're the athlete, then you're part of that crowd.
I feel you.
If you like art, you're part of that crowd. If you're smart, if you get good grades, you're the smart guys. Like, you're the smart kids. But it's just like, I
the
feel
smart
like,
boys.
Exactly, the actual smart boys. But I feel like we're all smart, you know what I'm saying? But like, it was kind of whack that, like, it's like, if you're an athlete and you get good grades, like, you were like the coolest dude ever. But it's like, it's not uncommon. Like, like, I'm not, like, I have other interests.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you don't have to do that. So Smart Boys is also just like telling people, like, if you're an athlete, you don't have to just be an athlete, but
facts.
Also, there's creativity in that. Like, we recognize that there's still a lot of intelligence in what you do in your sport.
Man, one thing is like, when I think about like dunk contests, right? Like, you have to be creative. You can't just go up there and just like lay it down. They've seen that 1,000 times. You have to come up with your own things. Even if it's in the same lane as other people, you have to be able to diversify and not just have like be broad, but then have depth in whatever you do.
Exactly.
I really like that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of studying too that goes into playing a sport, especially at the collegiate level. Like, you gotta watch film. Like, if you went, like,
I don't think people realize
you
that,
really
man.
have to study. Like, it's just like any other profession. Like, you have to study, you have to work at it, you have to put in the hours to get better. So it's not easy. Like, I used to hate like when people were like, oh, he can put a ball in the hoop so he gets to go to school for free. It's like, no, bro, he probably sacrificed his childhood.
Childhood.
He literally sacrificed his childhood. He probably sacrificed all the social events that you got to do. And he still has to do everything you do in school after he just got off a plane or was on a bus for 9 hours and just played a full game. Like, those are the types of things. So it's like, it's not just putting a ball in the hoop. It's like they sacrificed their life to really do this. And that's just kind of like, it's just, my brand's about appreciating those people, like appreciating the athletes, appreciating the artists who felt like they weren't considered smart, but it's like there's definitely intelligence in what you're doing. So
I feel you, man. So
that's Smart Boys, man. So that's deep. That's a roundabout way, but that's really what it is, bro. It's just like,
that's what's up.
It's just telling my story through the brand.
And I feel like a lot of people can really relate to your story,
Absolutely.
Whether they're athletes or not. Like I was kind of like the weird kid that was trying to be everything. I was trying to be a cool kid. I was trying to be with the theater kids. I was definitely like the track star. So
Yeah,
shout out to all the coaches out there.
Yeah, shout out track, bro. I ran track too.
Yeah. So man, like one thing I noticed, and like I follow you on Instagram. Go ahead, shout out both your handles.
Oh yeah, Dressed by Martin. So dressed past tense by Martin, all lowercase on Instagram. That's really the only one that matters, honestly.
For sure.
And then Smart Boys Inc. Smart Boys Inc.
So yeah,
Instagram.
The reason I wanted you to do that is because like one thing I noticed is like you get a lot of good reception on both. Like when you put something out, people kind of cop it like instantly.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm guilty as charged. I mean, I'm rocking the Smart
Boys.
Boys.
In a full suit right now.
Yeah,
full cozy suit. You see it.
I'm a cozy
the cream
boy.
Come on now, go cop that cream boy. I'm in the samples right now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
you can't even get this yet.
Samples,
but yeah, it's just like how did you build an audience when I feel like the industry is just so cutthroat, man. Like the fashion industry, clothing. I feel like if you're really not doing something outlandish, if you're not making the next chunky sole, or if you're not adding a bunch of zippers everywhere, and like, like how did you establish yourself as a high quality? Because this is high quality. This is heavy, like heavy stuff, and it's really like quality. And like, how did you establish yourself as like, yo, this is how I want to do it, and you're gonna mess with my prices, like.
I feel like this is a question I feel like a lot of artists struggle with. I still struggle with it. Like I definitely love that you support and everything, but it's just like I'm nowhere near what I think I should be. And the support has been good, but it's like it's bootstrapping, bro. You gotta really you have to literally text people. Like I remember when the first product I dropped was a trucker hat. And I wrote down probably a list of like 30 names, just my friends. And I texted all of them. I spent probably an hour just sat there and just texted all of them individually. Like, I didn't send out a group text. I didn't put a template up. Like, I addressed people how I would address them. And I texted them and I said, yo, I'm starting a brand. This is the first product. Let me know if you want one. Like, first. Like, I'll get you one first before I release it. So that's what I did for that. That worked really well. Like, I think it's about being personal. People want to feel a part of something. Like when I did that, people felt really a part of what I was doing. They felt like, they felt important. You know what I mean? Like they felt like, wow, I want to be the part of the start of this brand, and they know me.
Yes.
You just got to be genuine, and I think also the story that I just told you about all this stuff that goes around it, like all that extra falls into the brand. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
So it's like when people feel a story behind the brand and the meaning, and when they feel your passion behind it, I think they'll jump into it. Like hopefully that expands.
It's definitely
right now.
It's definitely going to expand, and I'm really big into affirmations. I just got really big into affirmations like towards the latter end of like 2020, and like I'm really about it now in 2021. And I like read my affirmations like every day. But like, how did you know where you wanted to start? So you said that, I really like, this is like my trucker hat. Like, check it out. Let me know if you want one, and I'll copy one. Yeah. How did you find out that like, this is gonna be like my thing? Like, I'm gonna start with the trucker. Like, how did you figure out that one thing?
It's crazy. I wasn't even supposed to make a trucker. Like I had it's the thing about,
but here though.
But we're here. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about being an artist, bro. It's just like all these happy accidents happen. You know what I mean? Like I never intended on making hats, but what happened was I did it backwards. I won't get too deep fashion nerdy with you, but so basically when you start a brand, you don't really want to start cut and sew unless you've saved money for at least a year.
Sheesh.
I didn't know that.
You live and you learn.
I just was like, oh yeah, I want to cut and sew. Like I want to be real. Like I gotta be a real man. Like I gotta be a fashion dude. I gotta design, cut, sew, patterns, manufacturing. Like that's what I was at. But I was like, I was probably one sample running. I was like, that just cost me like $6,000, $7,000 to make this. This is my second sample. So it's like, bro, like, but
you just taught me something new, bro.
Yeah, but it's just like,
jeez.
But it wouldn't have cost that much had I not bought expensive fabrics. So I learned from that too, because I went to this manufacturer in Canada because the factory I was working with told me to do that. But like, obviously, like this is some really nice stuff. But it's just like, you shouldn't be doing that when you have $3,000 in your bank account.
I feel you.
Like you just
shoot for the moon.
That's not it, bro. Like definitely go somewhere and get some cheap fabric just for a sample run. Just something close to what you're trying to do. But
I feel you.
You know, bro, I just spent too much money. So long story short, I had to make something to pay for all the money I just spent on fabric and samples and tech packs and patterns and all that crap. So
I feel you.
All the manufacturing process, all the production that I spent money on, I had to make something to pay for that, or at least get some of my money back, because I was like, shoot, like this is gonna take 6 months to make this hoodie. I just spent all this money, and I'm not gonna get any of this money back for at least 6 months.
I feel you.
So I was like, I need to do something to get some money. So I made some hats, reached out, and then I made a tie-dye t-shirt that sold out.
I'm big boy mad about that. The green, black, and yellow one. Oh my, bro!
I'm making more.
I remember I hit you up.
I
I hit you up, bro. And I was like, "Yo, you still got some of those?" Like thinking I'm really the homie. Like you just got it on me. Like you saved it for me, but nah, you didn't have one.
Bro, there was a thing too. Like I only had. So I went to a flea market in Shipshewana, Indiana, which is an Amish town. It's an Amish city. There's a flea market out there. My mom was going. My mom has her own like Facebook show.
For sure.
She's a hustler, A1 hustler.
She's a queen, yeah, definitely.
Of course. So she took me with her, and there's like this tent. This dude selling all these like wholesale shirts. And there's like tie-dye ones like that. Like I don't know if like a local school did it, like kids or whatever, but it's just tie-dyes hanging on the wall. And I just grabbed all of them because they were like less than $10.
Oh.
Yeah, so I just bought a bunch of those. I think I had like 17 total, and they were all just 101s, and I just sold them. And those gone quick. So like those were my first 2 drops, and I just did those to get some money back on all the money I invested in production, all of which still has not been made. All that fabric is still sitting in my room right now.
So what's the lesson learned here?
The lesson learned
that you could share knowledge with the other fashion designers coming up.
The designers, there is no shame in wholesale to start, especially I can't sew either, and that's like one of my goals for this year. I need to learn how to sew, and I'm gonna start that journey probably like next month. Like learn how to sew, just so I can make my own samples. Or just to cut out one of those costs, because there's nothing that doesn't cost money when you're producing a line, designers. If you want to make something from scratch, if you put a sketch down, you're like, okay, I want to go get this made. You need a lot of things. You need patterns, tech packs, samples. Tech packs is like the digital entity of your garment.
Got you.
So it's like it has all your measurements, all your trims, seams, all that. It's on an Excel sheet.
Got you. Okay. Yeah.
And
you can take it. I know what you're talking about.
You can take it anywhere, and once you have a tech pack, you can take it anywhere, and anybody can make your garment because the blueprint is there. It's just It's like a digital blueprint for whatever you're making. And those cost a lot of money.
For sure.
But yeah, you have to pay for all that. I didn't know that. Yeah. So I spent a lot of money I didn't need to spend yet because like I still haven't. I pushed that line back a year. Like I was supposed to release it this past winter. Push it back a year. So it'll hopefully come out this fall.
For sure. Be on the lookout for that when it comes out. Definitely, we got to support.
Yes. But yeah, so that's why brands plan a year ahead, and I get that now.
I feel
So definitely back on the wholesale grind. But you can still differentiate yourself when you're doing wholesale. So like these are blanks, but these are blanks that nobody buys because they're expensive.
I feel.
But they're much cheaper than me making something from scratch,
yep.
like way cheaper.
Yep.
So it's like it's still affordable. But a lot of people like they want a quick buck. I'm not like a quick buck type of person in fashion. I'm very. I took the time to educate myself as well,
bro. That kind of brings me to another point. Like, who do you want to be in the industry? Like, who do you look up to? Who's your inspiration? And like, who do you want to be when it's all said and done?
I mean, I think there's a lot of people doing great things right now. I don't want to turn this into a fashion podcast,
bro.
But
this is the way foam works, bro. Is like we cater to you, yeah, so I want to make sure that you're dropping knowledge. This is you. This is your pod.
This is fire. I mean, right now, I mean, I love. There's a lot of black designers doing crazy things right now, and I think a lot right now, fashion is really about the niche designers. It's about the small people that are doing big numbers in terms of sales, but like big corporations may not know them yet. So like there's like David Weeks, he's doing Revs Paris. He like redid the Jordan 1. He remade it for himself, like kind of. But it's like custom work is going crazy right now. He did that. I mean, Tier NYC, that's another black owned brand that's doing crazy. And then on the luxury scale, like Pierre Moss with Kirby Jean Raymond, he's going crazy. I mean, those are the types of people I want to be. Like, not everybody can be the Jerry Lorenzos, the Virgils. Like, those are like one-on-ones. You know what I'm saying? But like, for me, I kind of just want to be. I kind of want to create like a culture brand. You know what I mean? Like cliche. Like, yeah, Supreme did it, but like, there's a lot of culture brands out there. You know what I mean? Like Telfar, even like they're doing their thing. So it's just like I want to have like a culture brand, but really like my whole vision for SmartBoys is for it to be like an incubator. So like basically somewhere.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Somewhere where like young designers can come work either while they're at school or after, and just build their portfolio. Like, so SmartBoys will have like, so I'm building this brand DNA right now where SmartBoys is like basically the logo is like the lightning bolt, and that the lightning bolt represents the mind of a creative constantly being struck with new ideas. Just, you don't know when it's gonna happen. It just kind of hits you like
that, taking a deuce.
Any creative, yeah, exactly. You know, bro, it hits me like I have dreams. Like it really does hit me in dreams. I'm sure you've had that thing too. Yeah. Like where you see a piece and you wake up and you gotta make it.
I wake up and I get my notes app and I pull out the markers and I kind of go hand with it. Yes, sir.
Exactly. Like, and that's crazy. And I saw a meme the other day too, where it was like, I forgot forgot the context, but it was basically like, why can't my ideas hit me like during regular hours?
Yeah, during regular people
like
hours.
regular people hours. It's like someone hits me at 2 a.m. He's like, why do I have to start working right now? Like I was sleeping fine, but nah, that's just how it goes, bro. So yeah, what was I just talking about?
Wait, pause real quick.
You know what we were just talking about.
Make sure that this shit's still popping and we're still good. Okay, and boop. Oh, you good?
Yeah.
Situators.
What was the question? I feel
we
that happens
about,
all the time, bro. We're just like, ask me something, I'll just go with
we were talking about legacy, what you want your legacy to be, your inspiration.
So so I wanted to be
incubator.
I want to be an incubator, basically. So designers in school or out of school can come work for me, but it won't be just designers. So SmartBoys is like, it's all creative. So all my work, like my videography work, like I basically just want to be like a freelance place.
Facts.
So like if a freelancer wants to come find a home for 3 months, he can. Like he can come work for me, do a couple videos. Like if he wants to just build his portfolio. If a model wants to come work for me,
facts.
Needs a shoot, I can create a shoot for her. Like if a photographer needs a shoot, I'll create a shoot for him. If I got a video, I'm sure I got a campaign coming up that he can work on. Like I just want to be able to, like, I don't know, like, see the business part of me is like, how is this gonna work? Because it's like, I almost don't want to employ anybody, but employ everybody.
Man, I've been there before, bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you want to help everybody, but you can't help anybody until you help yourself. That's what I realized. So just trying to get yourself in that position, and then once you get yourself in that position, then it's a go. Exactly. That's when you can put the whole team on your back.
Exactly. But it's just like I just want, but because that way too, you have to think about it from a brand perspective. Like if you have all those creatives in one space, coming in and out as they please, like your brand will never get old.
Facts. Fresh new ideas, diversity of thought. That's big. I'm big on diversity of thought.
Because it's gonna I'm gonna target the kids, like always the college kids or people that freshly graduated, because they have fresh perspective. They know what's going on in the streets in the world. Like the kids are the key, man. Like we're the kids right now.
Listen to the kids, bro. Exactly. Kanye was right. I mean, he might be a little, what's up, but that man knows what he's talking about.
It's just facts, bro. Like you have to listen to the people that are in it. Like, because fashion will always be for the kids, bro. Like
facts. I mean, I do kind of cringe when I see 40-year-olds kind of rocking skinny jeans. Right. Like, come on, man. That was.
But it's like, I mean,
what are you doing? But are those Air Force Ones? Like shit. Okay. Like yeah, they. I mean, if you can rock it, yes sir. Looking like Rick Owens in a leather leather vest.
Exactly. Somebody who's still tapped in, which is crazy.
It's pretty wild.
How he's still tapped in. Like,
so.
Like,
bro, thinking about like the older icons, right? Like, oh man, where do you like in 10, 20 years? Where do you kind of see fashion going? Like, what are your just give me your super generic, not generic, super general. Like, what are your thoughts on like the fashion industry going forward? Like, what's gonna be the next hot thing in 2030?
Man, that's a thing. You never know. I mean, right now it's all digital. I think COVID pushed it digital. And that's huge right now, like digital fashion shows, 3D virtual reality, 3D printing. I think there's gonna be a lot of new technologies that come into it. Like I feel like we're gonna have clothes that like light up based on our body temperature or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I was saying the exact same thing. It's like that type of stuff, like the custom stuff that like it looks plain until you turn it on or something. Right. And then like things that are like made out of recycled like materials or whatever, and like getting really into that. And then like the quote unquote like the Adidas 4D, I really mess with that. So I was like, bro, they're probably gonna be like messing with that stuff. Like when shoes are gonna be made out of 100% plastic and it's like all ocean plastic, I could definitely. Like that gives me pride to rock some stuff like that. It's definitely gonna
get more sustainable because it has to. Like, fashion is one of the most like harmful industries in the world. Like crazy. So I mean, yeah, it's gonna be more sustainable. Definitely, I think it'll be heavily integrated with art and technology, like it always has. But it's just it'll be fashion is a product of the times, bro. Like whatever's going on in the world, the designers are gonna create for what's happening right now.
Facts.
So I think. It'll whatever's going on at the time. That's what fashion will be a product of.
I feel you, bro. It's funny because like I never you're wearing like some lows. Like I never would have seen like lows coming back in the style. But it's like
bro, dunks are crazy right now.
Bro, the dunks. Yeah, and it's like the baggy. It's like the baggy style is back now.
Yeah, it comes back, but it always comes. We have to think about how everything comes back, but it always comes back with a spin. Like so, it always comes back, but it's modern now. Like, okay. Like this, like I don't know, like the baggy style came back, but like
it's like an athletic baggy.
Really, though. You know what I'm saying? Like it came back, but it's still slim. Like, but now we mix baggy with skinny and baggy with slim, or like if you're baggy up here, then you're skinny down here.
Facts.
You just go all oversized, but like
that's me.
It's different now, but it's different. Like it's still it'll always return, but it'll always return a little bit refined. That's just how fashion works. Like,
bro, I'm gonna have to give you a tough question right here, and I'm sorry.
No.
Put you on the spot like this. But what do you think like the best like decade of fashion was? I'm gonna say straight up, I think it was the 90s. Sorry, I feel like people are like it's either the 80s, 90s, or the 2000s. What's your take?
Definitely not early 2000s. That was the worst era.
What, you didn't like the XXL white tee?
Bro, like there was some foul stuff. Bro, I'm being PG here. There was some foul stuff going on. Early 2000s. My mom let me walk out like that, man. Bro, there was some terrible things going on. But it was still fire though. Like there was still some people that were like going crazy, like Killer Cam, Pharrell, Kanye.
Facts.
Going stupid, Andre. There's people that were going crazy, but 90s is definitely the golden era of black fashion, especially.
Bro, you just named some icons right there, and it's funny because like a lot of them are like not influence. They are part of the hip hop culture. Have you ever thought like, yo, I'm trying to like get into the hip hop culture? Like, would you collab with say like a Travis Scott or Pharrell? Like, would you ever see yourself being that type of designer?
Definitely. I mean, I would love to be in those spaces. I mean, that's where the bag is, first of all. Yes. Let's talk. Like, that's where the bag is. The bag. Like, that man just did a collab with McDonald's, bro. Like,
I got that tea in my closet right now.
Niggas buying McDonald's teas.
I was dead ass trying to buy the tea because like when that promotion was going on and the workers had the tea, I said, bro, I'll give you $100 right here, right now.
And that's crazy.
And he was like, I would, but they won't let me. And I was like, you're really gonna turn down $100 because your manager said no? And your manager's a square. Like, okay, all right, man.
Nah, bro, but that's crazy. You know, I definitely would. We on camera right now? Honestly, like the things I want to do, like, cause SmartBoys is like I want it to be more nostalgic.
Yeah. Bless.
So like I want to collab with like the shows I used to watch and like the movies I used to watch. Like I want a Static Shock collab so bad, bro. Like you know how hard that would be.
This man was reading my mind right now. I was like the Static Shock or the Rugrats. I was like Rugrats or Static Shock would be fire.
Rugrats collab, a Rocket Power collab would be stupid. Power Rangers, crazy. Like I already like. Honestly, my logo is heavily inspired by Power Rangers.
I feel that.
Hard.
I feel that. Are you more of a Black Ranger type of dude?
Of course. Actually, it was Black and White Ranger because they had the coldest suits. Like White Ranger had the coldest suit, bro. Because I was all about the look. Like I was like always been the fashion dude. I was like, bro, their suits are way harder than everybody else's. Like Red Ranger was always the leader. For whatever reason, but White Ranger would show up and show out. Black Ranger was he
was never really around like that, but when
he would pop up when the shit got deep. Like they hit the morpher, bro. Like we need White Ranger right now, which is also for my woke people out there. This is a metaphor for always needing the white man. No, I'm just playing.
It's deeper than that.
It's deeper than that.
It's so deep.
You need the white man.
That's funny.
You need to call the white man to save us. Nah, but I mean low key.
Nah, be your own hero. Be your own hero.
Low key though. But low key, you would never notice that until you're older.
It's kind of crazy, but bro, let's kind of.
So I do want to do that. Like those are the collabs I want to do, like with shows, like stuff that I love. I want the brand to be real personal. So
I feel you. So let's say it's 2025. You're about to go to a fashion show.
Got 4 years.
Fashion show.
Yeah.
What fashion show are you trying to go to? Fashion week, fashion show, any like which one?
Definitely my bucket list is to go to New York Fashion Week. See, I've styled for New York Fashion Week. I had a client in New York Fashion Week. I didn't go.
What?
I wasn't there. Yeah.
Bro, tell me a little bit about that.
Shout out Raina Montgomery.
Raina
Montgomery, my first ever like real client. So she walked in there's a LGBTQ plus fashion week event that happens I think either first like week of fashion week or the week before. It's like it like kicks off fashion week called Dapper Q. And a brand reached out to her and wanted her to walk in their show. And she needed somebody to style the look. So she got a suit and she needed to be styled. So I styled that. Didn't go, but that was my first like editorial credit, like first client.
Dude, so, that's what's up. And that's big, bro. Like, and you said you're not where you want to be at, but your work has been in a like that's big.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
No, like
bro. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of knew that because I follow you on Instagram, but like that's like for someone hearing that for the first time, like I got you in like in my room right now, and like that's crazy. Like I never thought. That the reach is crazy.
No, I appreciate that, bro. Yeah. So it's like, New York Fashion Week for sure. Paris Fashion Week is obviously like that's like the holy grail of fashion world. If you end up at Paris Fashion Week, let alone showing Paris Fashion Week, you're crazy. Like you've made it. That's it. But yeah, I mean the the Japanese fashion weeks are kind of going up too, and I really want to go to Tokyo.
I'm down to go to Tokyo.
Yeah,
bro.
let's go. I need to go. I want to go to Japan so bad, but
I really mess with their just like minimalist like aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like I don't really mess with TikTok like that, so don't really like at me like that. But
bro,
it's funny like the things that just make sense in like my small like Japanese apartment, and I was just like, why isn't that just a standard here? Like I don't know, it just be like the most mind-boggling. Like why don't we use like water we can't drink for the toilet water? Like they use salt water and stuff like when they flush, so it's not like you're wasting fresh water. I didn't know that. Thanks TikTok.
I didn't know that. Yeah, the more you know. That's crazy.
For real.
That's crazy. But I mean, in terms of who I want to see at Fashion Week, I mean, if Virgil's still at Louis Vuitton, I have to see one of his. Like the show he just did last week was ridiculous,
bro. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that because I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, so I forgot what it was called. I forgot the name of the show, but it's basically it was really powerful. Like it was very black. It was very like very for the culture, like talking about basically existing in a white world, and how like from that perspective we dirty it almost, because like it starts off with like the shot of a black man obviously decked out in Louis Vuitton walking through like these snowy mountains, and it like he's telling this monologue about how with each step you like kind of mess up the perfection of the snow, whatever. But it's crazy. Like you gotta watch it. Like I'm butchering the explanation.
You know what that
right
reminds me of?
But,
that reminds me of.
But it was hard.
I'm really big into music, right? And that reminded me of like that Frank Ocean lyric. Is like, I hope this black skin don't dirt this white tuxedo.
No, exactly. It was exactly like that. Like,
sheesh, man.
But it was hard. Like, you should watch it. I think you would really like it.
Bro, send me the
you
link.
Would appreciate it.
Send me the link.
I'll send it to you after this.
Appreciate you.
No, that was hard. So I gotta see Virgil at Louis Vuitton. Or I mean, honestly, he puts on a good show. Like he got a lot of hate last year. And he is a bit unoriginal at times. But his brain artistically, because he's a creative director. I mean, that's what they do. They don't make stuff, but like his creative direction is crazy, and that show is ridiculous. So that's definitely one of his best shows. I want to see him. Who else do I want to see? I mean, I want to see a rap show, obviously. Just that's Buckley's. You got to see a rap show.
Rap,
you're going,
bro. Those shoes kind of go. I mean,
yeah.
All right, man. I really want to. I don't know. I'm not gonna have you saying anything negative about these peeps because that's just not how we roll over here at Foam.
Keep it real.
But yeah, man. Like, so you speak a lot. You speak highly of Virgil, and I do too. Except when he donated 100 to the cause.
No, I mean, he's not perfect.
No man's perfect.
I don't love Virgil either.
But off that.
I love his last collection. People, that's it. That's all I'm saying. His last collection was hard. That's all I'm saying. I don't really love Virgil though.
But
I'm kind of indifferent.
So kind of off that, like Virgil does like with the collab with IKEA, man. Like I always thought of him like the accessories or like the clothes, right?
Yeah.
Or the shoes, of course. But would you see yourself like designing like furniture? Like is that out of, what is out of your wheelhouse? I feel like you'd be a very versatile person. Especially I feel like, man, you got the hats, you got literally the suits. I just feel like the next thing is either gonna be like socks and shoes, and then after that it's gonna be like rugs or something. Like that's just my take. But what's in store?
I don't know. Honestly, I haven't even thought that far. Like,
it's a good thing you got me here for.
Right. I mean, I want to get like I'm gonna explore apparel for as long as I can. In terms of just making new things. There's a lot of things I want to make. Obviously, like I want to tap into my athletic roots. I want to make like fire soccer gear. Like I got shorts. Like I already got shorts designed. I just gotta get them developed. Like, but in terms of outside of fashion, I don't know. I could see myself making furniture, but like I don't really have like. I feel like I need to get to a certain level of accomplishments where I'm like, all right, I need to do something else.
Yeah, I feel you. It's like, yo, I've established myself in this lane. All right, let me swerve over to this lane.
Yeah, because I know people like Luigi at Rude. Like he did it kind of early.
For real.
Yeah, like he started making, like he designed bikes, like, you know, Virgil designed a car. What's up, my boy Blue Boy? He's got a Wanted Apparel. I don't know if you know Blue Boy, Wanted Apparel, hard, really fire. He just did a collab with Mercedes Benz. Like there's, yeah, like he's going.
That's the bag.
He's going crazy. But these are still like small, like not household names doing these types of things. So that's what I was saying earlier about just like fashion's really about the artist right now. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. Like, ask me in a couple of years.
Bro,
I
yeah.
have an answer for you.
Definitely ponder that.
Yeah, ask me in like 2 years.
Hell yeah. One thing I noticed about you, Martin, is that you are very receptive to feedback. You're a very open person. You don't really take it. You don't really take it personal.
I'm glad it feels that way.
I mean, I know we as creatives can always be like, or artists can kind of be like in our feelings a little bit. But speaking about feelings, bro, very like the Lover Boy tee, like that. When people are like, yo, like, what's with this? They'll put the design on the back, like that design on the back, put that on the front or whatever, and you're like, all right. So like, how do you for like giving advice for all the creatives and stuff, like how do you remain open, but then like not just fall at their at the knee and be like, that's okay, yeah, like how do you like establish like, no, I'm gonna do it this way and you're gonna like it. Or
that's a good question.
Versus like, oh, y'all don't like that? Okay, let me change that. But I still have like my guardrails up, so it's not gonna go like willy nilly.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a good way to put it, because it's like for that particular tee. So the reason I did this, I dropped tees around Halloween, that frankly didn't do well.
Which one?
The scary tees. Like you got a long sleeve, I think, but like remember
those?
Those?
Hard, bro.
Yeah, those are hard. But I don't think people really got it. And that's not being like, I'm a genius, so I didn't get it. It's like, nah, like I really don't think people.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't think people got it or appreciated it. Like, or maybe the rollout was bad. I don't know. But it didn't hit like I wanted it to. So I was like, okay, next tee I drop. Yeah, I love it, but can it sell? And I think that's from a business standpoint. At the end of the day, fashion is a business. You can be creative all you want, but if you're not selling anything, you don't really have a brand. Yeah. It's not a fashion brand if you're not selling anything. Like business is the most important part of any business, no matter what industry it is. So I looked at it like, okay, I made that. I loved it. I thought it was going to go crazy. I overproduced in terms of inventory. Like I didn't do a pre-sale, like a pre-order for that, anything. I was like, nah, this is gonna go crazy. I'm gonna make some. Like I'm gonna make sure I got quantities. Flopped. Like so I was like, all right, so next team I'm gonna make sure that people like it. Like make sure people feel a part of it, invested, and then they'll buy it. Because it always goes back to that. You have to make your customer feel a part of something, a part of a community, a part of your brand. It's almost like a mind game. Like you have to make your customer feel like they're almost have a say in what you do.
And low-key, they did have a say in that Lover Boy tee.
They did. So, but it's like, but how you do it is you come to them and you kind of have your basically fully finished idea, but there's a part of it that you're unsure of. So that's what I did. It was literally just the front of it. Like they didn't like the front logo I put on there. So, but I knew in the back of my mind if they didn't like it, I already knew what I was gonna do. So it was like, as an artist, especially if you're really creative, like kind of not abstract. Like I'm not avant-garde or abstract by any means. I'm actually a pretty conservative dresser or designer. But like if you have something like that you feel may not be receptive, see what people think of it before you release it, and then in the back of your mind have the safe option and have the option that you like. And then so you put the option you like out there, just in case everybody loves it, you don't got to change anything. You drop it and it goes crazy. But if they don't like it, then you already got the safe option in the back of your head. Like, all right, they don't like it, I'm gonna put this one out. They're gonna love it just because it's basic and mainstream, and it has but it still has a lot of me in it. So that way everybody's happy. You're selling, they're buying.
I feel you.
Bada boom, bada bing. So yeah, that's really what it was. So I just took the back, put it on the front.
Nice.
Because that's what brands do.
No, I feel you, bro. It's funny because like I think about music and like it's funny because like the leaks or like whatever, the studio sessions or whatever, they're like popping off. Like someone who's really good at that, I think, is like Meek Mill or something. And it's funny because I always try to like relate fashion to music because that's just kind of like my realm.
So
like,
it intertwines.
Exactly. And so like it's funny because like when you can't dress for shit.
Just don't respect you.
Yeah.
This man's whack. I'm not listening. I'm not about to listen to this. This man got on Wranglers.
Bruh. Is that Abercrombie, my guy? But it's funny because like when he he posted on Twitter or whatever, and like it's funny just to read the comments, and everyone just like gassing him up, and then it never comes out, and then like the anticipation and all this stuff, and it's like, bro, that reception was there. Why didn't you drop it? And that's what frustrates me. And so like I love the fact that like you move so quickly, in a good way. It's like, oh, y'all don't like this? Let me change this up real quick. Now y'all love this. Speak a little bit about that. Like I know that I've also come to you and be like, man, how do you just like do like the 9 to 5 and then like the Smart Boys stuff, and then like you're actively like on social all the time, like posting your stuff and promoting your stuff, and like to me, like
I wish I didn't have to do that, bro.
Bro,
like if I could delete Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter and all that, I would.
Facts.
I wish we could go back to when social media didn't make or break your business.
Facts.
Because we don't have to get into that, but
we could.
Yeah, we could.
That'll be a 2-hour pod right there.
Yeah, for real, bro. But it's just like, no, I mean, honestly, I love it. I love fashion so much, and I've educated myself. In fact, even though I haven't been able to really be where I want to be, like I think I haven't really dove into the fashion industry how I want to, because it's so location based. Like you have to be in a place, like you have to, like a lot of people will tell you don't, but those people also went somewhere else before they came back to where they were from. And then they built something there, but they had to leave to gain some perspective and some real experience and to really see what it was like to come back and really make something in their hometown. So it's like,
that's real.
I couldn't the location has held me back, but education has really helped me, like self-education. So I watch every documentary I can. I've been reading a lot lately. For anyone who wants to be a designer, there's a book called The Fashion Designer's Survival Guide. I can't think of the author's name right now, but it's got a mannequin on the front, whatever. It's a typical fashion book, but no, everything that I messed up on, like buying too much inventory first, not saving money, not financially planning, not doing a business plan, all that, like obviously I planned it. I'm a pen and paper type of dude, so I planned more than most, but I didn't anticipate the financial needs. But so that book
factors.
absolutely so that book will save you a lot of time, a lot of money, and actually, if you don't love it, you'll read that book and be like, yeah, this might not even be for me. So, no, for real.
Make sure you test the waters first before you dive head first.
That's Fashion Designer Survival Guide. Definitely get that if you're looking to get into fashion.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's how. Education, just staying tapped in, and I just love it. So
I feel you.
It's my passion, man. So when I leave work, when I get off of work, I'm like, okay, now I get to actually work. You know what I mean? So
I feel you.
So that's
something about like just that. Speaking about creativity, there's like creativity hours or whatever. It's like after a certain amount of period, it's like when people are like starting to get their super creativity. It's kind of like, let me just burn a couple of hours at this 9 to 5 real quick, and then let me roll into the things I really care about. I really mess with that. That's a great message for the people. You speak about location, and like your original location was Detroit, hometown, and
grew up in Lansing, went to school in Detroit.
Yes, sir. And one of the things I noticed is that you put me on to a group chat on Instagram, and there's a lot of good creatives in there. And you say like geographically, like it's really important. I honestly thought, bro, you'd be having like a lot of support in the Detroit area and just like Michigan in general, because perception is literally everything, and your perception was like, bro, you were just like out there doing the thing, and I would see the other people that were in that group chat, like Adapt. I don't know is that how you pronounce it? Adaptee or
I don't
underscore
know
Adapt.
his handle, but
like he does like the Shinobi stuff, and I thought like that's hard. He's
hard,
cutting so as well, and
he's
like
hard.
Man, like I just saw y'all and I was like, man, Detroit's not messing around. Like,
no, Detroit has the talent, bro, and it's like,
so what's the problem? Like, how do we really make this thing like blow up? How do you take Smart Boys and then just, bah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
honestly, like, it's money makes the world go round, bro. It's financial. Like, if you really, like, the book I'm reading. So I read a line last night. It was like, hold on, I'm gonna pull it up because I think I took a picture of it, and this is like.
We read books. Smart Boys read books. The average American reads like one book a year, and I'm on my second right now. So make sure you reading books. Always educate yourselves.
Yes, sir.
I'm an artist, rapper, whatever, all that stuff. But I got shout out to one of my mentors. He got me a Michael Jean Basquiat book from the Louis Vuitton Foundation, and I read that for inspiration. So even if it's not words, bro, pick up a book and find your inspiration, whatever it is. But
I hated reading too, so like I just picked it up probably last year. So definitely start reading it.
Is that it?
Yeah. So it was a quote from a designer, and I think the interview was asking everybody what was the hardest part about running the business. And it says, trying not to think about money every day was the hardest part. And then it goes on to say, unfortunately, thousands of good designs are never produced because there's not enough money behind them. On the other hand, there's millions of mediocre, even bad designs that are mass produced and distributed around the world because the financing is there.
It's there.
That's all it is. And that's that's literally what it is. So like I was talking to a boy, I was talking to him like probably a week or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
He was reaching out looking for manufacturers because like the manufacturer he's working with like raise their prices, whatever. Like samples are a grit, bro. Like the cut and sew way is so expensive, like, and there's just no way around it, unless you literally outsource to another country. But like right now in the current business climate, like importing is just as expensive because of tariffs. So it's just like. It's tough, bro. Like the business side of fashion is really cutthroat, and it's not even about how creative you are and how like you can have all the ideas in the world. You could be in your head and even in your sketchbook, you could be the best designer in the world. But if you can't get it, if you can't take it from your brain and put it here, it means nothing. It might as well not even be here. So it's just like that's the problem. It's financing. Like we don't have the financing, we don't have the connections, because it's also the fashion industry at its highest level is very small. It's a very small world.
I feel like it's kind of like
very political.
Like TV stations, like all the TV station
Absolutely.
news networks
like
are owned by like six businesses, and you don't really realize that.
So you have to have the backing. You have to have financially and from people that are somebody. Necessarily, like that's why we have brand ambassadors. That's why we use influencers, celebrities to push our product, because not like in a mean way, but people are sheep, especially when it comes to fashion. Like if you don't know how to dress, if you're not in fashion, you're not gonna wear anything until you see someone that you admire wears it. Like,
bro, I'll be honest.
Think about the first Yeezy.
Yeah.
Think about the first Yeezy. Like the first Yeezy Boost. Everyone, when they saw it, bro, they were like, this is the ugliest shoe we've ever seen in our lives. Yeah. And then celebrities started wearing them. And people started wearing them. And then, all of a sudden, somebody you love and admire that you never thought would put on that ugly ass shoe, And guess what? Now that shoe's fire. Like, all of a sudden. Now I gotta have that shoe. So
perception is everything,
exactly,
folks.
Bro. Unfortunately, that's just how people think, especially in fashion. It's really hard to push the needle. Not that I'm doing any crazy innovative stuff, but it's like, for people to buy in to what you're doing, they have to see somebody else do it first. Somebody will. But most people aren't going to do anything until they see the people around them or the people they admire do it.